Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to work with the EC2 instance creation. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you or tell you about the course, what we're going to take or how we're going to take this route. Firstly, I'm going to create an EC2 instance right now. For one instance, I'm going to create for Docker. That's the first leg of our program. And then later, I'm going to create another instance, which is going to be added to this. And that's going to be the second leg for Kubernetes. So first couple of videos is going to be for Docker, and then later point of time, it's going to be added on for Kubernetes. So you just come back and when you're starting Kubernetes program, you can actually look at the way of adding another node and making it part of your Kubernetes cluster. So these are the first few things which you're going to do going forward. But do remember that creating an instance is going to cost you some money. I'm sorry, not creating the instance, but then like running the instance is going to cost you money. So having your EC2 instance running will actually cost you money. So do remember that. That's a real money I'm talking about. Now, firstly, before we jump onto the EC2 section, firstly, we need to see where our servers to be hosted. Now, EC2 is basically your elastic compute instance, so you can actually get it from your service as well under compute, and it's going to be having this EC2. Now, you can bookmark this by this using the star button, so this will be bookmarked under. You can see that a new channel comes in. So this is going to be easy access for you. Next time when you want to access the EC2 instance, you can just click from here. That's the first thing. Second thing is that you need to understand that you are on the EC2 dashboard here. Now, one thing you should understand is this first message. So you are using the following Amazon EC2 resource in US East, which is North Virginia region. So now this is a default region. So ending up creating a AWS account will end up in this region. So this is the default one. So which means that if you're operating this training from India and you want to like create service in India, because why would you create a server in North Virginia or in the US when you are actually working from India, right? So it doesn't make any sense. We have two availability zone as part of AWS in terms of India region. Yeah, so it's southeast, southeast region. I think it is southeast. Yeah, so you have, AP South. So this is Mumbai. So that's one. And there's one more as well. I think it is disabled. I guess. Yeah, it's Hyderabad, as you can see over here, but it's disabled. That's okay. So we are not worried about Hyderabad region at this moment. We can definitely create this instance in Mumbai. So now you need to understand that the closer the servers are, the faster you're going to get the response from the server. So it's always recommended to create servers where your customers are indeed located. In your case, you are the customer because you want to access this AWS machine, right? So select the region which you are closer to. I am not in India, so I'm just giving you an example. So if I had to choose a server near to me, I would go for something like in the Europe region. But do remember that based on the region selection, you kind of get billed higher. So for example, you can actually go to calculate AWS. So you just do that, and then you get a price calculator over here. Now you will be able to see when you create click on create estimates, you can actually see based on the regions, you'll be able to see a different price change. So I'm going to create an EC2 instance, so click on configure. And here the instance which I'm going to create is basically a number one instance, and it's a Linux instance. And here I'm going to put in like T2. So I'm just gonna find this T2. Well, I don't see that instance here. So maybe it's not available in this region. So that may be the reason. So I'm just gonna go with regions rather than local. So I'm just gonna select, let's just say, London, right? So Europe, London. So if I'm going to choose a Linux version machine of T2.medium, so this is basically this one. and you can actually see on demand. So we are not going to pay for 1 or 3 years. To remember to select it on demand. This is just for this, so it won't be asking you in the same way. So you're going to say that I'm going to use Sage or per hours per month. Like, for example, I'm going to use like 100 hours per month, right? So if it's going to cost me monthly $5.2 dollars. Okay, so that's what the optimal thing is saying. But then if you're going to be like it's going to be much higher utilization, it's going to go up as well. So you can see that this is pretty much $5.2 per month, right? You can see that over here. But if I change this region to any of the other regions, so this price mode will differ. For example, I'm going to Virginia, you can see that the price is coming down to 4.64. And that tells you that London is expensive than North Virginia. So that's something which you can actually get to know from here. And if you're going to host it on Mumbai, let's just say over here, now 4.65 becomes 4.96, but still is cheaper than the London region. So the one thing that you should consider before you kind of go with defining your instance is also that you need to see where you're going to host this particular virtual machine. So that's basically something which you need to see out. So I'm going to stick with North Virginia because I'm closer to it, even though I'm not like really close, but I'm still closer because it's kind of cheap, so I can save a little bit on for my expense. But if you're looking for something like from the India region to the US region, so that may be a lot of hops, which means that there will be network issues. But for training purpose, you won't see much of a thing because it's not a live graphic we are talking about, right? So it's not going to be a big deal. And under a region, you have multiple zones, and each zones is going to have your VPCs and stuff like that. So the default setup, and your servers will be hosted on any of the zones. And each zones provide you a lot of high availabilities and fault tolerance, so you don't really have to worry about the service, which is going to be hosted on AWS. Now let's go ahead and launch an instance. So now there are a couple of things which you should do. Go to EC2 Instance, and then go to instances over here. There are a lot of instances type over here, as you can see. We're not going to work ourselves towards all the details of the other ones, so the AMIs or something like that. But I do want to cover AMIs later point of time when we build this image, and also some of the networking concepts and items which is going to come up when we go forward with this training. Now to launch an instance, on the right side you have a drop down button, and this button exposes you to launch instance, which is pretty much the same, and then launch instance from template and migrate a server. Now launch instance from a template, firstly you need a template. We have not done any templates right now, so we will do it later. Launch the instance over here, so click on launch instance. And here you just give the instance name. I'm going to give us Docker master. -1, so this is to indicate that this is the first version of it. Or else you can actually do one more thing. You can add additional tags over here. So version 1. And then you can add another tag over here, which says env dev, and then another tag over here which says app test. So that's pretty much what I want to add, and this is very useful in terms of working with your sorting of your virtual machines. If you going to have multiple virtual machines under AWS instances, this is going to be really useful for you to get things done. So let's go ahead and select the other one. So this is a very important thing, the application or OS image. Now, if you're planning to install a specific application where you don't have license and you want to pay the license fee with the AWS, this option is the great thing. So for example, if you're looking for a Oracle software on a Oracle Linux, so just search for Oracle over here and see if there is any kind of AWS available items on the Quick Start AWS AMIs. Okay, if it is not there in Quick Start AMI, obviously that will be in the marketplace. Now, AMI marketplace is basically Amazon machine image. Now this is where your operating system is going to have. Now the beautiful thing about this, like, you kind of have an application also installed with the operating system, so you don't really have to go through the installation of the application after installing the operating system. So now in the marketplace, as you can see over here, this is AWS untrusted third-party AMIs. So which means basically these are images provided by the third party itself, like for example Oracle itself. Now this particular video, what I'm covering is not for Oracle, but then Oracle Database 19c, Oracle Enterprise Linux comes with this. Also, it includes an operating system of Oracle Linux itself. I believe it didn't give any kind of a description on the operating system, what it has, but I believe it is Oracle Linux, because Oracle pretty much runs good on Oracle Linux. And it includes starting from 0.10 an hour, so which means like 10 pence an hour, and for a year it's going to be $700. This includes the operating system fees, your database fee, license fees, and as well as like the Oracle cut on the licensing fee. But this is not from Oracle, as you can see. This is from a company over here which provides hardened image. So this is a trusted vendor according to AWS, and this is basically for the software, and this is for AWS, so plus AWS usage fee. So you're gonna get like charged based on that. So if I select this, your total or your final cost is gonna be reflecting, like you can see that the total price right now. So previously what you saw is like 0.10 an hour. This is just for the software. But when you select it, you cannot see the actual price. So it's not 0.10, it's 0.293. So which means that it includes the operating system, the support for your the Oracle 19c, as well as like some product details over here. So it gives you what actually is installed. So it comes with Oracle Enterprise Linux, as I told you. That's a basic Linux. So that's on your... Oh, okay. So it says over here. I'm so stupid. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's the one. So Oracle Database 19c on Oracle Enterprise. I didn't see that. I'm sorry. So here is going to have the benefit of Oracle DB, features of Oracle DB, which is 19c.5. 19c. And fifth point is that it has this 19c's performance, scalability, alternate scalability. Sorry. So likewise, you kind of see that. So here you go subscribe, and then basically what will happen is that the subscription fee of per hour subscription fee will get added to it. So this is your subscription fee. So it says like pricing per instance for service hosted on T2 large in US East1. So this is on a T2 large. So that's basically gives you the pricing information of hosting it on a T2 large. You may not see it like, oh, it's not so much, right? Just 0.2. But if it goes on for hours and hours, then it's going to be on a huge on a bill. So likewise, you have custom images over here, but we're not looking for any of those. We are looking for something very small and tiny to run our Docker and Kubernetes. Now I'm going to choose this AMI 2023. You can also choose some of the freewares, but do remember the free eligible one. It tells you that it is actually an open source operating system. Not for this. This is Red Hat Enterprise Linux. This is an enterprise operating system, but still it's available for free. But there are other Red Hat versions over here, which is not for free. So you can see that it's not saying. So SUSE is there, Ubuntu is there, Microsoft, a few versions are free for you to work with. But stick with the Linux operating system. That gives a lot of peace. So select this. x86 is an Intel architecture. And get this closed. Don't need it right now. So now here is your T2 micro. This one is selected. The AMI image has been selected. We have chosen Amazon Linux 2023 AMI as the software image for your Amazon machine image. In terms of instance type, so again, we have seen this. We don't want to use any of the free instance because it's like too small. So you go for T2 medium. That's what we discussed about in the previous video. And I did already create a key pair. Let me just give me a second. Well, I removed it right now. So I'm just going to click on create a new key pair because the name would have been So I'm going to create it with the name of docker-kube key pair. Now, this is very important. So if you want to access this mission that you're creating, all the mission you're going to create in the future, you're going to link it with a key pair. So the SSH will be communicating not with a password, but with a pair of key. Now, this is a kind of a communication where you want to communicate to servers with using SSH, but using a key pair. So what happens is that you're going to generate a key pair and you're going to keep it a key file format as PPK. And when you are configuring your SSH from your MobiXterm or your PuTTY session, you'll be giving the host name, IP, username, and then in that one setting, you will be going and enabling the private key, and then you will be browsing and giving the PPK file, which you're going to download by choosing this. And when you do that, you will be communicating to the server using a private key rather than a password. So that's the reason why we don't give password, but we would be selecting the key pair. But if you have created it already, but if you have not done it, follow the procedure, name your key pair, select the file you want to download, PPK that is. If you're using MobiXterm, I'm pretty sure you are using MobiXterm, or else download it. It's freeware is available for MobiXterm. It's very useful. Then create a key pair, and then that's gonna end up downloading the file, which is a PPK file. So I may have to delete old file which I just downloaded some time back. So there you go. Edited it so that there's no confusion. So that's pretty much on the key pair. That's for logging into the server. So we have selected the instance type. We have selected the key pair. Now let's talk about networking. So mostly you don't have to do anything on the networking, except for the allow from SSH and allow from internet in case if you have hosting any kind of web pages on your web server. So except for that, you don't really have to do with this. Okay, so this is information. So here is the VPC. So this is part of every zones which you're gonna have, and subnet no preference based on the availability zones again. So that's something which you don't select. And then auto IP address is what is recommended. If you're gonna choose a specific IP address, then you're gonna have to additionally pay for it. So that's remember that. So the firewall is like the create a security group. So it's gonna create a security group, and we will name it as launch wizard 1. So that's basically the new security group. We don't want to do that right now. And you are going to connect from your system to this virtual machine using SSH, right? So you give allow SSH traffic unless and until you want to like specify where you're connecting from. So for my IP address range is this one. So this is the one I'm using on my system. So I would specify this, but rather I would specify anywhere, because if I'm using a VPN or if I'm like restarting my system, it might change. If I have the thinking that the DNS may change for me, or the IP address series or subnet would change for my system, so you can give anywhere. So that's gonna enable you. But anyways, without your key pair, you'll not be able to logging into the server. And second thing is that by this videos are out, these virtual machines will be deleted. So I'm not worried about it either. Allow HTTPS traffic. So this is gonna help you browse your application, which is hosted on your this machine, where the endpoints for 80 and 443 will be enabled, and it will be off internet, so which you can browse it. In terms of configuring your storage, so here the root volume not encrypted. So as you can see over here, pre-eligible customers can get up to 30 GB of elastic block storage, EBS, general purpose SSD, or magnetic storage. So I'm gonna go with 30 GB of disk space. So you're just going to go with GP30, which is your general purpose SSD. That's fair enough. And then some advanced details over here, so which talks about your IP address, DNS, and other stuff, which we are not worried about it at this time. So let's just close this and click on Launch Instance. Now this is going to launch, and you can just click on the details over here, and you can see that it is creating the security groups, and then it has initialized it. So you can see that this instance name is launched. So pretty much your instance is launched. So go back to EC2 and then go to instances and close this, and you will be able to see that instance is still pending and it is not created at this moment. So now you can see that the instance state is pending. IP address is still being okay. The IP address is assigned, so you can click on this to access this IP address to HTTPS. But it's not going to work because it's nothing running in there, so it's still not created anyways. So pretty much your Medium instance is almost done creating. So let's just see in a while, see what's happening. Oh, right, so now it's running. So now in the next video, we will be actually configuring this and installing Docker on that. I don't want to extend this video, but we have covered up pretty much a lot of details in this video, and this begs me to create another specific training for AWS, because you see the knowledge I have in AWS space. So I'm just thinking I will create another training on AWS specialty, and pretty much I can cover more grounds on AWS services and all those options you see out here. Anyhow, thank you again for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.